seconds. He's going to throw it. Howard leaps. He has it. Touchdown. Carolina back from the dead to tie the game with 2 seconds to go. Snap back, spot down. The kick is cleanly away. It is good.
And
Nick
it's
Barber with a
yes, sir.
54-yard field goal. And how about them Tar Heels? They do it.
Here's Kupak. Gives off to Amos. He's got it. He's Unbelievable. Unreal.
Jordan back to kick. It's blocked again. Picked up. It'll be a touchdown, Carolina, for Bracy Walker. He blocks his second punt and scores his second touchdown of the season. It's 14-13. Mr. Jordan beat Mr. Walker. Bernard fields it at the 26. Heading to the far side. Gio at the 35. Gio, he's at the 50. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Gio, he's going to take it for a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
This is the Heel Tough Blog Podcast on Spreaker.com. Welcome into this edition of the Heel Tough Blog Podcast. I'm Anthony Pagnotta. On this edition of the podcast, we sit down and talk to 2019 three-star wide receiver signee Emery Simmons about his commitment and signing to North Carolina and why it's the right fit for him. Emery, we got to start off, man, by wishing you a happy birthday. That's pretty cool, man. The day before your birthday, you get to sign your letter of intent in front of everybody at Southview High School. So just, talk about that experience of being able to do that, around this time of year for you and to be able to do that in general, just in front of your high school where you played your high school football and had these people supporting you for so many years.
It just felt great to be able to do it around this time of year. Me doing it around my birthday, it meant a lot to me. I felt like this is a huge accomplishment in my life, and I got to express that all at once with my teammates, fellow classmates at Southview, my coaches, family, all at once. So that kind of played a big part in it, and just me being in front of those guys, getting to celebrate that with them, was a huge, like a big thing for me because they kind of helped me get to where I'm at now with Carolina offer and me going to Carolina. So sharing that with them was huge.
Yeah, I mean, your recruitment was, kind of a little all over the place. You started, of course, with Indiana, then you switched your commitment to Carolina, and then eventually decommitted, flipped to Penn State, and then flipped back to Carolina. So the question I'm going to ask you is just, what, for you, are you kind of happy that it's over and you can kind of get that kind of stuff out of the way and now just kind of focus on the one place, Carolina, for, the next 4 years?
Yes, most definitely. Me going through that process this whole time, it was kind of stressful. Of course, having the people talk, saying you decommitting and recommitting to all these schools. I was just trying to make sure for me that I was making the best decision. Mm-hmm. And once I heard Coach Brown was coming back into the fold with UNC, and that was big time. I was already committed to UNC before he was there, mm-hmm. And so with him coming back, him being a huge part with Texas football, being a big part for UNC. When he was there the first time, it was nothing but great things I heard about him since one of my offensive coaches, Marcus Walls, played for him at UNC, and he was just telling me all the great things he's done for people, and it kind of solidified it once he came to my house and we had a talk, and the piece that I played for UNC this year, this coming up season on the team.
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of walk me through that first time that you sat down with Coach Brown. What was so, what was able to kind of convince you? Was it just the way he was able to talk to you and everything like that? Because we've kind of heard that he's just one of those guys that kind of has that family-like feel to him. Was that kind of how it felt to you?
Absolutely, because once he came to the house, it was him, Coach Brewster, Coach Bly, mm-hmm. Coach Gillespie, everybody came. So it was just like I just felt like a family environment around with them. He's just big on that. You're loyal to him, he's loyal to you, and I really love that about him. Then I had Coach Wall. He was in there with me, and while I was there, Coach Wall called his mom, and his mom actually came to my house because she was excited because she heard Coach Brown was there, and she actually came. It was raining and all, and she actually came to my house just so she could see Coach Brown. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, he really is a family man.
Yeah, and now, of course, you go and play for him. You got Lonnie Galloway, who's been around this area for a while. He's going to be your wide receivers coach. You've clearly probably talked to him and everything. What kind of vibes is he giving off? Is this a guy that, you think is really going to make a huge impact at Carolina?
Yes, absolutely. Coach Galloway, he knows what he's talking about. He's seen different parts of college football with him being at Cal and then at Louisville, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. And he got the same thing like Coach Brown. He got that family mentality. And when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work, and I love that.
Yeah, so, one of the things that you got to do, a pretty nice honor, was to go out to the Shrine Bowl, and it really gave you a chance to go out there and work a little bit, not only with who's the guy who's going to be your future quarterback now in Sam Howell, but also with fellow wide receiver Joffrey Brown. Tell me a little bit about working with Joffrey and what type of receiver you think he's going to be for Carolina and how you guys will be able to team up together.
Joffrey, he's a real good dude. Me and him kind of already knew of each other before, even with him committing and everything, because I used to see him up at Carolina all the time when I would go up there and visit him just because he was up there with his brother. So me and him already kind of had a relationship. But he's one of your explosive players. He'll turn a 5-yard catch it to a 90-yard run, and just got so much acceleration after he catches the ball that it's just it's amazing. And he can still go up and make the big plays deep with the 50-50 balls. So I think that's going to kind of give them a matchup problem. Everybody that we play a matchup problem with, two of those type guys with me and him in the game at the same time. Plus his brother is going to give people some matchup problems all over the field. So I think they'll kind of use him at the slot just to because he's that speedster type guy, and just kind of have me on the outside to get him over the top with the 50-50 balls.
Yeah, and so, one of the guys that could potentially be throwing you guys the football will be Sam Howell. He ends up flipping his commitment from Florida State, and, you've kind of worked with him a little bit more than just in the Shrine Bowl. You were actually with him when he went out to the opening. You caught, of course, what is probably the most famous pass from him this past offseason, where he threw one to the end zone, and it was just a perfectly positioned football. You were able to haul it in as you were falling down as well. So when we talk about Sam Howell, what do you think? This has got to be something that excites you to have the opportunity to play with this young man.
Yeah, Sam's just all around outstanding quarterback. His IQ is out of this world. He knows the game like the back of his hand. So hopefully now we get to build that rapport a little bit more with him joining the family now. But all around, Sam's just a good guy. He just knows clean, quiet, humble, just loves to work.
Yeah, man. So the last thing I'll ask you before I let you go is, we've seen your dad on social media as well. And, it's one of the things that I love about this level of football. The dads really get into it. And so when you committed, he was all in on Carolina, and it's great. He's been all in on Carolina since. So what is it like to have a dad like that, that's so supportive and always there, and whenever you do end up committing, is behind you 100%?
It's great. My dad's he's been there through the whole process, and I appreciate him for it. Having him in my corner has really been a blessing. Okay, you don't really find too many dads that do that. Go on social media and kind of help you take them blows from them the fans that you just decommitted from. So me, I usually just kind of let it roll off my back for my dad's, and when he'll kind of give fire back at him. So but everything he does it out of the kindness of his heart, and he just supports me all in all.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to having him in Kenan Stadium. I think he's going to be one of those ones that's going to be exciting to sit around if he is in your section. That is 2019 wide receiver commit and signee now, Emery Simmons. Thanks for joining us, man. And again, happy birthday, congratulations, and we can't wait to see you on the field in 2019 with the Tar Heels.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So that is 2019 wide receiver commit Emery Simmons, the 3-star wide receiver out of Southview High School in Hope Mills, North Carolina. He was able to stop by and chat with us a little bit. We're going to have some more sit-downs with the recruits as we go throughout the next couple of days. So keep it tuned right here to the Heel Tough Blog podcast to hear more of those. In the meantime, subscribe to the podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn.com, or the TuneIn app as well as the iHeartRadio app. They have it as well. And keep an eye on the Heel Tough blog. Our commitment list will be coming out. We will have our a little bit of a recap of what has happened so far in the early signing period, as the early signing period for the Tar Heels appears as if it will come to an end tonight when Joffrey Brown does sign his letter of intent. No other early commits are expected, but you never really do know with some of these guys. It looks like Octavius Brothers, the 3-star outside linebacker, is going to make his decision in February as he will release his top 4 on Christmas Eve. So it seems like that's where the focus will turn after tonight's commitment from Joffrey Brown. If there is anything else that does happen, just keep an eye on the Heel Tough blog. We'll have you covered, and we'll write anything that we possibly know about the situation to let you guys know what's going on. Want to thank Emery Simmons for stopping by and chatting with us for a little while. Again, we look forward to seeing him and all of the 19 commits and early signees that will be heading to Chapel Hill early, or at least it looks like most of the guys. Well, Christian Varner, the 3-star strong side defensive end, said last night on his social media that he will not be heading up there early. So he is going to graduate on time and end up coming up for fall camp. So everybody else, not really sure if all of them will be headed up to Chapel Hill in January, but a bulk of them probably will. That's going to do it for this edition of the Heel Tough Blog podcast. As always, go Tar Heels!